So welcome to mission number 4, Garrison Relief. First of all, we're going to roll for our mission size. As you can see, 1 to 2 will do 105 points, 3 to 4 will be 160 points, and 5 to 6, everybody in the squadron plays. We'll roll to see who the attacker, who the defender is. High roll will be the attacker's normal. There's also special rule for bad weather. It just says to use the bad weather / night rules. So we'll roll to see whether or not we have bad weather or night, and we'll wait to do that after deployment. I was going to do the optional mission specific rules, but this rule is race specific. It depends on, or it specifies who the attacker, who the defender is. Basically, the longer the game went on, Orcs would have an opportunity to take over Imperial gun defenses if they were the attackers. I suppose I could do it both ways, but it didn't feel right to change the rule, especially when I don't know what kind of impact this might have on the game with Imperials using Orc defenses. So I just think it's safer to skip race-specific rules until you've had a chance to test either direction. And seeing as this is just a quick campaign, there's just no time to test it this time. So based on our rules, we're going to do a 160 point game, and Imperials will be the attackers this time around. That will leave Orcs as the defenders, and again we'll roll the special weather rule after the deployment. So Orcs are the defenders this time. As defenders, Orcs have to drop off reinforcements at one of 2 drop zones, or at both drop zones, in order to try to protect the base from invasion. That means I need at least 1 transport vehicle. Sadly, I only have 1 Grot bomber. I'd sort of like 2 for this mission, as each Grot bomber can carry 3, whereas a heavy bomber can only carry 2. I don't have 2, but I can include the 1 I do have, so it'll be 28 points used. I also decided I was going to take all 4 Daka jets this time and treat them as a single unit. That's 64 more points for a total 92 points in use out of my 160 points. We have 68 points left to figure out. In the end, I decided to go with a 2nd transport, so a heavy bomber was added to the list for another 28 more points. That'll leave us 40 points. That's not enough for 2 fighter bombers. But wait, I can take ground defenses in this mission. So I started playing with the different combinations of ground defenses, with and without fighter bombers. And while 40 points of ground defenses was tempting, I felt the flight line was a little too light. I needed more activations in the movement phase. So I bought a fighter bomber that only left me 15 extra points, with the regular flat platform being 9 points and the heavy flat cannon being 7 points. I had no choice, I had to take 2 of the heavy flat cannon. So full squadron total 159 points for this mission. So Imperials are the attackers this time. They will need to blow up the Orc base. That's their primary mission in this game. They do have the option of taking ground defenses. However, ground defenses can only be deployed within 6 hexes of their deployment zone. As I expect the fighting to all occur over the Orc defenses, it made no sense to take any ground defenses for the Imperials. That leaves us the Thunderbolts and the Fury to come out. That's 100 points straight. We're done there. What's nice is that 2 of the Thunderbolts and the Fury each get a free reroll once during the game. I just have to remember to use it. Finally, I decided to add both the Marauder Destroyers, and the full 160 points was used. I used both Destroyers rather than a Marauder Bomber, as the Destroyers have a good chance of destroying the base from a distance. They still have bombs, just not as many as the Marauder Bomber. And not to mention, they have great anti-aircraft potential with their forward-firing autocannons and their tail gun. So for the strategies, for Orcs, you want to land the heavy aircraft as soon as possible. Quite simply, the Orcs have more transport capability than the base has points. If they can land both heavies and unload, they're going to get more points in the mission points area than the Imperials will. It's a no-brainer. Finally, I'm going to use all the Daka jets. I know how weak they are individually, so I'm going to try to use them to buy time for the heavies to land and deploy the troops, and use them as a team to shoot down enemy aircraft. I need to be prepared to change altitude if they're not in good position to attack or being attacked themselves. The fighter bomber is to provide more close-in support for the heavy flyers. I'm honestly hoping I made a right choice for the fighter bomber over more ground defenses. I would have liked more ground defenses. We'll just have to see what an Orc heavy flak cannon can do. For the Imperial Navy, the destroyers will go after the ground targets first, and then they'll go after enemy aircraft. If they're lucky and they're fast enough, they can hopefully destroy the Orc base and catch the Orc heavy flyers on the ground defenseless. The fighters, especially the Thunderbolts, will go after the Orc heavies as soon as possible. I really don't expect any issues with these guys. They know their mission, they're just going to go out and shoot stuff up. So Orcs are the defenders and had to deploy first. So looking at the far south side of the deployment zone, we have the fighter bomber. He's traveling at max speed, altitude 2. Next we have the 2 heavy Orc aircraft. The one on the left is the heavy bomber, and the one on the right is the Grot bomber. Grot bomber only has 2 Grot bombs, despite the fact you can see 4 under the wings. They're traveling at speed 4 right now, altitude 1, so they can land as quickly as possible. Finally, on the far side, we have 4 Daka jets. They're all flying at altitude 3, max speed. I chose to put them there so that they can fly together as a unit, fight together as a unit, hopefully not die as a unit. But at max speed they'll be able to climb or dive to whichever level they're needed at, and hopefully avoid any frontal fire head-to-head with the Imperial flyers. Finally, I'm just going to show you our bases. We have the main base here with the 2 landing zones beside it, and behind the landing zones are 2 heavy flak cannon. And that is our Orc deployment. So for the Imperium to be attacking, we start off on the south side. We have 2 Thunderbolts flying at altitude 2 at max speed. They will only be able to climb up to altitude 4 if they do climb, but the reality is the Orc flyers can't go above 4, so they're able to get to all the ranges right there. Next we have the 2 destroyers. Because they're going to be strafing the Orc base, they're flying at altitude 1. They're going maximum speed, hoping to get within medium range and start shooting turn 1 or turn 2. And finally, on their flank, we have the last Thunderbolt and the Thunderbolt Fury. Again, they're flying altitude 2 at max speed, more than fast enough to climb to any altitude they need to. So starting turn 1, first thing we have to do is roll to see if we have bad weather or not, or if we're flying at night. Roll a d6 to see whether it comes into effect, and I rolled a 2, which I believe in normal visibility. So there's no bad weather, no nighttime flying. We're good to go. I've replaced my old green dice with some new green dice. I bought some Orc dice. I found the other dice were too hard to see on the camera. So we're going to roll to see who gets first activation. Green for Orcs, blue for Imperials, and it's tied. Try again. And it looks like the Orcs are going to get first activation. So starting with the Orc activation, we're going to start with the Grot Bomber, I think. and he's doing a straight move. I'm going to slow him down from speed 4 to speed 3. He only has a throttle of 1. And we'll move forward. 1, 2, 3. Next activation. We'll do one of the destroyers. Again, he's doing straight. And he's traveling speed 5, altitude 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next we'll do the Orc Heavy Bomber. Again, he's doing a 1. And I'll do the same thing. I'm slowing him down to a 3. 1, 2, 3. Next turn, if both slow down to speed 2, they should be able to land and unload all their passengers. Next is Destroyer. And again, he's going max speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as much as I hate to do this, I'm going to take and... No, I'm going to move a Daka Jet. We'll move this one first. He's going straight, max speed, altitude 3. I'm going to keep him there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we'll see if he can be used to bait the Imperials. Kind of hard, I know, when I'm playing both sides, but it makes no sense. So, these two Imperial Thunderbolts, even if they go max speed, they're not going to get in range probably. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, they could make long range. Whereas I have a target here. Let's see what happens. I'm going to set this Fury up to go after him. He's at altitude 2, traveling speed 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's too close. I drop on to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'll still be short range, but that's better than nothing. Or I can simply get out of his way so I'm not doing a head-on attack. Maybe I'll go forward 1, 2, 3, turn 4, 5, 6. And I'll keep him at altitude 2, just so it'll be harder for any Daka Jets to hit him. So this means maybe I got a shot here. We'll take and move this Daka Jet. He's going speed 8, altitude 3. I'm going to drop him to 7 so that I don't have to roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And he's technically still in my front arc, but he's a little bit farther away. I'm going to drop down to altitude 2. And that'll bring my speed back up to 8. We'll leave this guy because it's obviously now become a trap. Instead, we'll move forward with this Thunderbolt. Maximum speed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to turn him. That way he's got both bombers in his front arc. And even if they are long range shots, he can still shoot at them. Oh, I'm going to drop altitude. Or, ooh, yeah. Too late. I'm going to leave him. If I slow him down, I can't slow him down, I'll have to do a test. So the fighter bomber is also at altitude 2, and he's going to go straight. Speed 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I still have him in my front arc, although he's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's just out of short range. Too bad. Meanwhile, this Thunderbolt, he's going to go forward maximum speed. He's at altitude 2 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's obviously going to try and go for the fighter bomber. I think I'm going to leave this one at max speed, traveling at speed 3. He's going straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Did I do that right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Same altitude as him. He'll be the wingman. That way, if that remaining Thunderbolt tries to go head to head, he'll be able to help. And finally we have our last Thunderbolt, speed 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I drop him down to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that would be better for him. So I'm going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to stay at altitude 2. He's got a good forward arc still on all the Dakajets. So I've got a choice. I can bring him down to altitude 2 and help him go after that Thunderbolt, or I can keep him high, make it more difficult for him to hit. And I think I'm going to keep him high. We're going to leave him at altitude 3. He's going 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's it for the movement phase. So Orcs get first activation. First thing I'm going to shoot, I think, is this fighter bomber. Mostly because I'm concerned he's going to get shot out of the sky from the Thunderbolt in front of him. So he'll try to shoot him down first. So this fighter bomber against the Thunderbolt coming straight onto him. At medium range, his weapons, he normally gets 4 dice, but he does have the custom big shooters for another 2 dice for a total of 6. We're all at the same altitude, so it's 5s to hit, 5s to damage. Not bad, we got 3 hits so far. Needing 5s to damage, and none damage. He does have a set of rockets, so I'm just going to launch those now. Those are 2 dice, needing 5s to hit. 1 will hit. And it will do damage on a 3+. And we will damage the Thunderbolt on a 4. So this Thunderbolt is going to shoot at this Dakajet. The reason for that is this Dakajet is at altitude 2, same altitude as the Thunderbolt. More importantly, this Thunderbolt, or this Dakajet, has a shot at the Fury at the same altitude. So he'll have an easier time to hit the Fury than the other Dakajets who are flying at altitude 3. So, autocannons this range
Needs 4s to hit and, sorry, 5s to hit, 4s to damage. He only gets 1 hit and it does not explode. And he will not damage. He also gets 2 laser cannon shots, needing 5s to hit. 1 will hit. This is 2s to damage. 6s explode and do 2 damage. He will do a single point of damage to the Dacajet. So next orc activation, we're going to fire this heavy flak cannon. It's going to shoot at this destroyer. He's at medium range, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Medium range, he gets 2 shots, needing 5s to hit, and then he'll do 4+ to damage. And the flak cannon will miss its first target. May as well start with this destroyer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to open fire on the base. Medium range, he's got 9 shots. And I'll just have to roll an extra dice here. Needing 5s and 4s. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. Rolling to damage on a 4+. He gets 2 hits. Unfortunately for them, the autocannons don't explode. So while we're at it, we'll fire this flak cannon at the other destroyer. Also at medium range, 2 shots. And he will miss both as well. So far, the flak cannons are not doing their job. The final destroyer, he'll take and shoot at the same target as well. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, needing 5s to hit, 4s to damage. Okay. Not as good a shooter. He's got 4 hits though. Force to damage, and he will get the 2 damage points, and that will destroy the orc base. Imperial mission accomplished. So, next orc activation. The damaged Dacajet is going to shoot at the thunderbolt that shot at him. Unfortunately, because it's medium range, he doesn't get his full range of shots. He only gets 4 shots this turn. However, being at the same altitude, he's hitting at 5s and damaging on 5s. And we got a single hit so far, but does not damage. Next shot is going to be a fairly long range shot for the Imperials. This thunderbolt is going to take a shot at this Dacajet. Dacajet's at altitude 3, Thunderbolt's at altitude 2. He's needing 6s to hit, but only 4s to damage with his autocannon. So rolling to hit. I see 1 6. And he needs a 4+ to damage. He will fail to damage. But he does get 2 last cannon shots, again needing 6s. Close, but no cigar. So looking at the next orc action or activation, we're going to fire this Dacajet at this thunderbolt. Now again, difference in altitude. I need 6s to hit and 5s to damage. And it looks like he's going to miss with everything. So looking at this Imperial Thunderbolt, it's going to shoot at this Fighter Bomber before he forgets to shoot. They're at medium range, same altitude, so 5s to hit, 4s to damage with the autocannons. And we've got 3 hits so far with the autocannon, needing 4s to damage. I got 1 point of damage. Fortunately for the orc, it doesn't explode. Next we have 2 las cannon shots, needing 5s to hit, 2s to damage. 1 hit with the las cannon. If he rolls a 6, the fighter bomber is destroyed. And no, he rolled a 1. Lee's cannon does no damage whatsoever. Lucky fighter bomber. Back to the Dakajets. This Dakajet's going to shoot now at the Thunderbolt. Again, only gets 4 shots, needing 6s because of different altitude. No hits for the Dakajet. Final Imperial activation, it's going to be this Fury shooting against the fighter bomber. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hexes away. That makes him long range. He's out of the Avenger bolt cannon range, but he gets 1 shot with the last cannon. He's at altitude 2, same as the fighter bomber, so they're hitting on 5s, damaging on 2s. He will hit. Damaging on 2, and extra damage on a 6. That's 2 more points of damage. The fighter bomber only has 3 points. The fighter bomber is shot down by the Fury. That leaves the final Dakajet to shoot at the Thunderbolt. Again, 4 shots needing 6s and 5s to damage. And no 6s, the last Dakajet missed. So the last 2 Orc activations are the Heavy Bomber and the Dakajet. Unfortunately, Heavy Bomber is long range to all the Imperial aircraft. He can do nothing. Same with the Grot Bomber, except he can launch Grot Bombs. Now the range of a Grot Bomb is only 3 plus D3. It doesn't have range to get to anything this turn, but it might next turn. So I'm going to launch 1 Grot Bomb. And I think I'm going to launch it this direction. Oops. So they can turn around and maybe hit the Imperials later. How far will it travel? It moves a total of 4 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it for the Grot Bomb for this turn. Well, end of turn 1. There's nothing to roll for, no tailing. We've got no spins, no stalled aircraft. And we're obviously above 25% for both forces. So let's roll to see who gets the initiative. Turn 2. And it looks like the Orcs get the first activation. So I had to restart the video because I discovered I did such horrible errors in my moves it totally ruined the game. Fortunately, I did keep the part where it shows that the Orcs won the activation. So, starting off, we'll start off with the Grot Bomber. He's at speed 3, altitude 1. I'm going to drop him to speed 2. Move him forward 2. He is now at his minimum speed. He is landed. So he's now effectively speed 0 and altitude 0. If I can get the dial to change. Yeah, close enough. So he's unloaded his transport people. Put him back where he belongs. Looking at the Imperials, I'm going to just activate one of the destroyers. He's going straight ahead. He's at altitude 1, speed 5, dropping him to speed 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Short range, not the best range for him to do his shooting, but he's at a good altitude to strafe. He will have some shots on the Grot Bomber. Forgot to show it was one. Activating the Heavy Bomber, same thing, dropping to speed 2, 1, 2. He's now at his minimum speed. He's going to land, making him speed 0, altitude 0. That one was much easier to do. And so he will unload his passengers at the other landing zone. That effectively completes the Orcs' main mission. Now they just have to keep on fighting and see who's going to gain the most victory points overall, just by air to air. Activating the next destroyer, same thing, he's going straight. And again, I'll slow him down to speed 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he also has a head-to-head shot with the Heavy Bomber. Looking at Orcs, again, we're going to activate this Dakajet. He's doing a turn. He's presently at speed 8. I'm going to drop him to speed 7. Turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to turn twice, 7. Drop him to altitude 1. And he's in perfect tailing position for that destroyer now. Let's see how he does. Next activation, I'm going to go with this. He's doing a stoop. So he's presently speed 5, or he was speed 6. I've dropped him to speed 5. Turning 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, go back here. 3. Oh, do I do another turn here? 3, turn 4, 5, and he will turn one more time. And he will drop to speed altitude 1. And because he dropped, he'll go back up to speed 6 as well. So he's going to have a shot on the Dakajet. Next Dakajet, he's doing the same thing. Dropping him to speed 7, turning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm gonna turn 7. Again, he's dropping down to altitude twice to go down to altitude 1. And because he dropped, he's going to become speed 8 again. Really am klutzy here. The next Thunderbolt, he's doing a stoop as well. He's at altitude 2, speed 6. I'm going to drop him to 5. Turn 1, 2. Turn 3, 4, 5. And he's going to turn to here. This will give him a better shot at the Heavy Bomber and the Grot Bomber while they're on the ground. That leaves these Dakajets. So we got a 4 here. I believe that's, what do they call it? Snap turn. So he's going to go turn He's at speed 8. I'm dropping him to 7. And then he's going to drop down to altitude 1 probably. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And he turns back on himself, dropping to altitude 1. And he will be back up to speed 8 because he dropped altitude. Not the best angle, but he can still hit somebody over here. Let's do the Fury. Wouldn't you know it, he's doing a stoop 2. I just have to figure out which way I want him to go. He's at 6. I'm going to drop him to 5. Turn 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn once, 5. And he's going to turn so. Dropping to altitude 1. And he'll go back up to speed 6 because he dropped altitude. That leaves our last Dacajet. He's also doing a snap turn. He's at speed 8, altitude 3. I'm going to drop him to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And he's going to turn around. Actually, I'm going to make that 7. And he's dropping to altitude 1 as well. And that will take care of the movement for turn 2. Forgot our little orc buddy here, the Grot Bomb. He gets to move D3 plus 3. Let's see how far he moves. And he's going to move an extra 2 for a total of 5. I get to do 1 hex side turn. Yeah, if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I won't be hitting anybody. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I think I'm better off just doing a turn right away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll put him closer to the Thunderbolt, and hopefully next turn I can do something useful with him. And I just discovered I missed 1 Thunderbolt. So he's doing a stoop as well. Let's see what we can do here. I'm going to freehand the camera. Let's see what happens. So I think, again, he's at, I'm showing this one's at speed 4. So we're going to do a turn. It's, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. He did. I'm going to turn him once. 1, 2. Turn 3, 4. Turn 2 hex. Oh, 1 hex will be enough. And drop him to altitude level 1. That way he's got these guys in his firing arc. Okay, I'm worried I'm going to lose the Dacajet here, so I'm going to start with the Dacajets. And we'll start with red 1. He's at short range. I'm going to shoot at the one in front of the Grot Bomber. That's 8 dice at short range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same altitude. Need 5s and 5s. And it looks like we got 2 hits. Neither one will damage. First Imperial activation. We'll have this Thunderbolt here go after this Dacajet. Try to shoot him down before he can damage the destroyer. 6 shots, needing 5s and 4s. He'll hit once, but he will not damage with a 2. Firing 2 las cannon shots. Both las cannon shots will miss. So much for the first activation. Next orc activation, going to be black 2 against this destroyer. Again, we need 8 shots, 5s and 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, I'm short of dice. Well, we got 2 5s. Needing 5s to damage. And we got a 6, so we do 1 point of damage on the destroyer. So let's start with the next Imperial activation. It's going to be this Marauder Destroyer. He's going to strafe the Grot Bomber on the ground. Unfortunately, he's at close range, so he doesn't get night dice. He only gets 6. Needing 5s to hit, 4s to damage. Well, we got 3 hits. And we got a single damage point so far on the bomber. Now we'll also take and fire the rear guns. Tail gun into the black Dakajet. Tail gun here has 6 shots. Again, needing 5s to hit, 5s to damage. And he's got 3 hits so far. And he'll do 1 point of damage. Now he still has his turret. I could use it to shoot something in one of the side arcs, but really the only one in the side arc is that undamaged Dakajet. Instead, I'm going to concentrate on that one and try to take him out of the skies. So the dorsal turret has another 3 shots at short range, 5s and 5s again. Oops. And he actually got 2 more hits. 1 more point and the Dakajet goes down. And there's the 6. Dakajet takes 2 points of damage. He is shot down by the Marauder Destroyer number 2. Trying to avenge his buddy. Red 2 here will also open fire on Destroyer number 2. Short range. He gets 8 shots, needing 5s and 5s. I see 1 hit. Not good for the Dakajets. Needing a 5+, and he got it. So that's 2 points damage on to the Destroyer number 2. So definitely getting a little crowded here. We're going to have the first Destroyer shoot at the Heavy Bomber. Again, short range. He only gets 6 shots. Yeah, only. 5s to hit, 4s to damage. And we got 1 hit from the autocannon. Needs 4+ to damage. And he rolled a 6. So that's 1 point of damage on the Heavy Bomber. Now, tailgun shooting. He's got all the Dakajets basically in range of him. These 2 have fired. Maybe not any point at shooting at them. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's still in short range. He hasn't fired yet. I'm going to shoot my tail guns at him. So, 6 shots from the tail gun. Needing 5s and 5s this time. Ouch. 3 hits. He only needs 1 more hit to shoot down that damaged Dakajet. And he's got 2. So red 3 goes down. Unfortunately, he can't shoot his turret because he can only shoot 1 aircraft per arc. Everybody else in the turret's arc is to his rear. And he can't shoot at these 2 because they're actually on the ground. They're below the turret. That will take care of the second destroyer's shooting. So with the bombers on the ground, they don't have an activation this turn to shoot because they're not allowed to shoot while on the ground. That means all I've got left that hasn't fired so far are the 2 heavy flak cannon. So we'll start with this one. And he's going to shoot at the already damaged destroyer. Short range, he gets 2 shots, needing 5s to hit. And we got 2 hits. He now needs only a 4+ to damage, and 6s do an extra point of damage. And we got 1 4, so he will take another point of damage, taking him up to 3 points. That means that destroyer only has 2 points of damage left. So next Imperial activation is going to be this Thunderbolt. And he could shoot either of these, but this one's in short range at 4. He's at medium range at 5. I get a better chance of shooting with him. So I'm shooting at red 1, needing 5s to hit, 4s to damage, 6 shots. Let's see what we get. And I got a single hit. Does it damage on 4+? It will do a damage point. He still has his 2 laser cannon shots. The Dakajet only has 2 damage. Rolling to hit the laser cannons. Laser cannons both miss. So for the last Orc activation in the firing phase, this heavy cannon, again, he's going to shoot at the damaged destroyer. Needing 5s to hit, 4s to damage. And we will get a single hit. 4+ to damage, 6 does extra damage. And we will do another point of damage. So the destroyer has got 4 damage points now. 1 more damage point and he is shot down. So we're going to activate this Thunderbolt. He's at altitude 1. He's going to take and strafe the heavy bomber, who happens to be at medium range. So 6 shots with the autocannons, needing 5s to hit, 4s to damage. And we managed to get 2 hits. Needing 4+ to do damage to the heavy bomber. And he's got him. Heavy bomber now has 3 points of damage. Now he'll fire his laser cannons. 2 shots, again needing 5s to hit. And both missed. Final Imperial activation is going to be the Fury, and he's going to shoot at the damaged Dakajet red 1. So with his cannon he gets 7 shots, needing 5s to hit, 4s to damage. And we managed to get 1 hit with the cannon. 4 to damage, 6 does extra. 2 points of damage, that'll take out the last, or the red 1 Dakajet. Finally, at the end of the turn, the Dakajet is not adjacent to any aircraft, so it doesn't even have a chance to go off at this point. And that will end the shooting phase. So I just realized I forgot to roll Armored Cockpit for any of those hits that are on him. He's got 4 hits this turn. Any 6s will cancel the hits. And we'll cancel 1 hit, so instead of 4 damage, he's down to 3. Now, we did have 2 aircraft that were in excellent tailing position over here, but obviously they're gone. Unfortunately, he's out of his tailing arc, and obviously his. And these guys were close. They're just barely outside of tailing arc as well. So that's it for them. Also in the end phase, there's no spins, no stalled aircraft. Although the Orcs are in terrible shape, they've lost 4 not below or at 25%. Because there's only 7 aircraft total, they need to be down to 1 aircraft before they're at or below 25%. That's actually the same for the Imperials. So Orcs technically are still in the game. The good news is they delivered their troops, so they've earned the extra bonus points for that. The bad news is they haven't shot down a single aircraft. So, well, let's see what happens now. Rolling to see who has first activation. Orcs or Imperials? Roll the tie for 2s. And Orcs get first activation. And I know I don't want it. This seems to be a common thread for the Orcs in this campaign. So Orcs have first activation. They don't have a choice. We're going to activate the Grot Bomber first. Now, taking off, he can only go up to a stall speed, which is 2, and he can only climb to altitude of 1. So, here we go. Speed 2, altitude 1. And he's going to go forward now. 1, 2, he'll be on top of him. He'll have to go forward the extra space. Even though we know he's going to be moving this turn, that's what the rules say. So let's see if anything happens to the Grot Bomber as he takes off. Nope, he's safe. And now my final act, what do I want to turn? I think I'm going to turn him the 1 hex side this way. Oh, and he's right there. Drop your tail. Just to make some room, I'm going to move this damaged guy first, and he's doing a turn. So I think I'm going to go, he's at speed 4, I think. Yeah, so he's going to turn 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's going to turn 2 hex sides this way. He's basically going back the direction he was going. And I'll just turn over these 2 for those guys so I don't mix them up. And I can bring him back fully into his hex. Next Orc. He has a 1 as well. And I just thought of what he could have done before, but too bad. He's up to speed 2, altitude 1. Oh. So he's going to go forward 1, turn, and go 2. And I'll just leave the stand there for now until this area hopefully clears out a bit. Next Imperial to activate, I think will have to be this destroyer. He's also doing a 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think, yeah, or I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Or I can go 3. Decisions. I'm going to reduce his speed to 3. He's going to turn this way. 1, 2, 3. He's actually over the landing zone. And then he's going to turn this way. And that's going to be his turn. I just got to move these guys out of the way and I can do some stuff. So for the last Orc player, he's doing a turn as well. He's going speed 8 right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, turn 8. No, that wouldn't be good. 7, definitely no good. So he's going to reduce speed. He has a throttle of 2. I'm going to reduce him from 8 to 6. He's still at altitude 1. I'm going to leave him there. Turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then he's turning 2 hex sides, and he's going to have that bomber in short range. So that's all the orc movement except for him, and I can't move him till everyone else is finished moving, so let's move this guy. He's doing a turn. And he's going speed, oh, he should be going like that. He's going speed 6 right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's a good place for him to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn 2 hex sides. And he'll have the Grot Bomber in his sight. Oops. Being very klutzy here. Activate this Thunderbolt. He's doing a stoop. Turn. He's going speed 5. I think I'll leave him there. 1, 2, 3, turn 4, and he'll go like this, 5, and that will keep his arc, so he's splitting there. He'll be able to shoot at the heavy bomber. And we'll see if we can put the bomber back together. That just leaves the last 2 Orc aircraft, or Imperial aircraft. Here we have a turn. He's going speed 4 right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, turn 2 hex sides. He's in perfect tailing position now against the Grot Bomber. And the Fury, he's doing a turn as well. I think I'll go this way. 1, he's going speed 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn twice. 5, 6. Realign him. All the aircraft have moved. Right? Double check. Now we just got our buddy here. And he moves D3 plus 3. He's going to move another 2 for a total of 5. He gets 1 turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to put him beside. I'm going to need to check the rules, see what happens to the counter if he lands on an aircraft. But other than that, that's the end of the movement phase. So I didn't find anything saying that the autonomous weapon has to take and do the roll, but I changed it just by going forward 1 hex and then turning. That way I land right beside the Fury anyway. So assuming nothing else happens, that autonomous weapon will go off at the end of the firing phase. So looking at first Orc activation, all my Orc aircraft are right here. I also have the 2 heavy cannons. The issue is, what do I shoot first? My initial thought is he's in tailing position of, or not tailing position, he's in position to be shot at by that destroyer, but he's not right in the tail gunner, so he's fairly safe. But on the other hand, this Thunderbolt, he's actually splitting the hex with the heavy bomber. He could potentially shoot him down. And of course, the heavy cannon can shoot anything in the area. I think I'm going to try and shoot down the Thunderbolt, just because if I can, it'll prevent him from doing any further damage. Also, he's already damaged. He's got only 2 more hull points or structure points left. Same with the destroyer. I just think it'll be harder for the destroyer, or rather the Thunderbolt is more dangerous at this point because of his long range to get these bombers. So 8 shots, 5s to hit, 5s to damage. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Not bad, 50%. Can he do it? He just needs 2 5+. And he got 1. Too bad. So close yet so far. So Dacajet causes damage, but fails to destroy the Thunderbolt. So I'm going to take and activate the destroyer number 2 next. I chose him because the hex splits, so he's available to be fired on by both the front and the side arc weapons. I'll shoot the autocannons first. If he happens to shoot down the Dacajet, great. He can use the turret on, or sorry, the heavy bomber. Then he can use the turret on the Dacajet. Otherwise, he can pour the fire from the turret into the heavy bomber if the autocannons aren't enough. So, short range, he only gets 6 shots. 5s hit. We got 2 hits. Needing 4+ to damage. He does 2 points of damage. That'll take the heavy bomber up to 5 points of damage. He's got 1 point left. So as I said, the turret could possibly shoot him. He gets 3 shots from the dorsal turret, needing 5s and 5s. 1 hit. That's all he needs. Can he get another 5? He does. Gets a 6. That's 6 points of damage to the heavy bomber. The heavy bomber goes down as he's trying to take off. So next, Orc activation. We're going to do this heavy flat cannon and we're put him against the Thunderbolt. Normally I prefer to save the aircraft for another aircraft to shoot down, but we're down to 2 aircraft for the Orcs and we need to save some space here. So 2 shots, needing 5s to hit. And the heavy cannon will hit once. Damages on a 4+, extra damage on a 6. And he got a 6. The flat cannon will shoot down the Thunderbolt. First Imperial loss. Next Imperial aircraft to activate is going to be Destroyer number 1. And before I forget, he's going to drop bombs on the flat cannon before he takes and shoots himself up. So we have 4 bombs or 4 firepower on the attack, needing 4s because he's at altitude 1. He gets +1 bonus. He will do 1 hit so far. And he needs to do 2+ to damage, extra damage on a 5+. So he will do 1 damage point. But he still has 2 more loads of bombs, so let's try another load. And we got another single hit. Oops. Will he destroy him this time? Oh yeah. There goes the heavy flak cannon. Now we'll just take and fire forward cannons at the Grot Bomber. This is still short range, so he's only going to get 6 shots. Again, needing 5s to hit, 4s to damage. And I see 3 hits. 4s to damage. And he does a single damage point. So he's going to take and use his dorsal turret. Dorsal turret, short range, he's going to get 3 shots, needing 5s and 5s. Holy cow, all 3 hit. They don't explode though. 1 more damage point. So the Grot Bomber is up to 3 points of damage. Halfway there. Unfortunately, the tail gun does not have arc to shoot at the Dakajet. That will end the shooting for Destroyer number 1. So the Grot Bomber is the last thing to activate for the Orcs this turn. It's not looking good. He's pretty much surrounded by everybody in the world, including another Thunderbolt that's telling him that it's not showing up in the camera angle. The only thing he can do is shoot everything he can, everywhere he can. So we're going to start designating forward guns into that Thunderbolt. He's at medium range. He's going to get 4 shots, needing 5s to hit and 5s to damage. And he got 2 hits. Can he damage him? No, he did not. He's going to shoot his port turret at this Thunderbolt. Again, medium range. Medium range, the turret only has 1 shot, needing 5 to hit and 5 to damage. He hits, but does not damage. He'll fire his starboard turret at the destroyer there. Actually, yeah, I'm better off shooting there. So that's 2 shots at short range, needing 5s to hit and 5s to damage. 2 hits. And he will do 1 damage point to the destroyer. And finally, he will launch his last Grot Bomb. And I will launch it like so. It will go D3 plus 3 hexes. I want to roll 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Overflew where I wanted it to go. In fact, he almost flew off the table. And because I only turn 1 hex side per turn, I got a bad feeling he's going to be gone. So, Thunderbolt 3, he's in a perfect position to go after the Grot Bomber. He's at medium range, just. So, maximum dice, 6 shots, needing 5s to hit and 4s to damage. We got 2 hits from the cannon, 4 plus to damage, and both the cannons failed to damage. However, he also has 2 last cannon shots, and neither last cannon shots hit. That takes care of him. So with only Imperial aircraft left to shoot, we'll start with the Fury. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's in medium range. He gets 7 shots. He needs 5s to hit, 4s to damage. And he's going to get 1 hit with his cannons. 4 to damage, 6 does extra. And he'll do a single point. So the heavy bomber is now up to 4 points of damage. We still have 2 last cannon shots, needing 5s to hit. And he will hit once, 2s to damage, 6 does an extra damage. And he will take another damage point. That leaves him with 1 damage point left. And seeing as we have the angle, we may as well go with Thunderbolt number 2. Oh, sorry, 5. Hard reading numbers upside down sometimes. So he gets 6 autocannon shots, needing 5s to hit, 4s to damage. Well, 1 miss. It doesn't look good for the Grot Bomber. And there we have 4 damage points. He only had 1 left. The Grot Bomber goes down in a blaze of glory. I need to double check, but I believe when the Grot Bomber goes down, so do the Grot Bombs. But at this point, it doesn't matter. The Orcs are at 25% or less with a single Daka jet lying alone in the area of engagement. And I feel so sorry for him. Orcs are going to lose another battle. So did a quick check of the rules. There's nothing in the rules that say autonomous weapons go down when their launcher is destroyed. So giving myself benefit of the thought, I'm going to say that the autonomous weapon is still flying. And at the end of the shooting phase, we're going to roll to see if the autonomous weapon detects and hits the Thunderbolt Fury. And it rolled a 4, so we're going to take and hit the amount of damage a Grot Bomb does. On a 2+, 1 point. On a 4+, he does 2 points of damage. And we rolled a 2. So he will be damaged, but only a single damage point. Though that may go a little ways to help the Orc points. So the Orcs are down to 1 aircraft. They're less than 25% on the battlefield. It really doesn't matter who rolls for the first activation this time, because you know the Daka jet, he's going to increase his speed to 8. And he's just going to go full speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's on a half hex. He's off the table. He has successfully disengaged from combat. That will leave the Imperials in command of the area of engagement and end the battle.
My poor Orcs. Well, casualties for the Orcs, almost everybody. The only aircraft that survived was Krak in Daka Jet 2. Also, we had 1 heavy flak cannon survive. That was it. Everything else got destroyed. As the Daka Jet disengaged in disengagement turn and was miraculously undamaged, it denied all 16 points to the enemy. That plus 7 points for the 1 ground defense that wasn't attacked or damaged. We managed to save 23 points from the whole deployment, so we gave up 136 points for the Imperial Navy. The good news was the Grot Bomber and the Heavy Bomber both accomplished their missions, so they're going to get moral victory just for doing that. So, Lieutenant Bill in Thunderbolt 4 was shot down. As he was not a real ace, he had no saving bailout role, so he's gone and needs to be replaced. That gives the Orcs 25 points right there. Both the Marauder destroyers were damaged, but were still in the area of engagement, so they only give up half their points, so 15 points each for a total of another 30. And finally, the Fury was also damaged by that last Grot Bomb attack, so half of 25 points rounded up is another 13 points. So total points of damage awarded to the Orcs will be 68 points. So looking at our points, the Imperials destroyed 136 points of Orc force. Then they got another 20 points, 5 points for each of the 4 structure points for destroying the Orc base. And because the Orcs were 1 point cheaper on their list, they gain another point, giving them a grand total of 157 points. This will give the Imperial Navy a victory, and with the +3 campaign points, they're now sitting at 10 campaign points. On the other hand, while the Orcs only did 68 points worth of damage, they earned more mission points by dropping off 5 transport troops in the landing zones for an additional 25 points. Not enough to win the game, but certainly a moral victory for the Orcs. They accomplished their mission and got more points for it. So Imperials now in the campaign lead with 10 points to 6 points. Only 2 more missions to go. Checking the math, the best the Orcs can do at this point is tie the campaign by winning both of the following missions. Something I really don't think they can do. So for pilot experience, the Orc side, only Crack survived in Dakajet 2, so he gets 1 mission experience but no kills. On the Imperial side, everyone that survived got at least 1 kill except for Lieutenant Buzz in Thunderbolt number 3. Unfortunately, only aircraft count as kills in this game. Otherwise, Lieutenant Dave in the Marauder Destroyer number 1 could claim 2 more kills, as he was the one that destroyed the base with his final shots and took out one of the flak cannons using his bombs. So we have a new pilot in Thunderbolt 4, Lieutenant Chuck. We'll see how he does in the remaining 2 missions of the campaign. Lieutenant Brad, Captain Biff, and Lieutenant Dave, they're all still showing as squadron aces, although they're not real aces in the true sense because they don't have the necessary kill points. We do have Lieutenant Brad and Captain Biff with only 2 more kill points to go before they can get an ace skill. The question is, can they get the ace skill next mission? Otherwise they won't be able to get one for the final mission. For the Orcs, everyone got replaced again except for Crack in Dakajet 2. So as you can see, for the Orcs, there's only 1 person with 1 mission experience, and that's it. I would have liked to have flown some of the Orcs off the board before they were shot down, but the last 2 games were simply too devastating. The Orcs were getting shot down far faster than I could maneuver them to safety. So it's doubtful any Orc pilots will get any ace skills, as there's only 2 missions left in the campaign. Well, for the Orcs, I finally got all the Dakajets done to the air in 1 mission. It didn't help. They did a good first turn by staying high the first turn. However, when they dropped down to attack the Imperial bombers, they got ripped apart. Only 1 Dakajet survived the mission, and I think I have to say it was pure luck. It was nothing to do with his skill. My biggest mistake, I think, was trying to go after the Marauder Destroyers with the Dakajets. It was at that point where the Imperial fighters were able to get the angles and drop on the Dakajets, and they just went to town. The Dakajets just cannot survive in front of anyone with lots of guns. Or trailing destroyers, for example, with tail gunners. Orc heavy fighters made excellent work as transport. I sort of wish I had 2 grout bombers so I could have gotten a few more points, but in the end it probably would have made little difference. The heavies landed, disembarked their reinforcements, and got the points. The 6 structure points on each made them incredibly tough. It was only when all the Imperial fighters managed to concentrate fire on them that the heavies really suffered. Grot bombs, you either gotta love them or hate them. I think if you're going to take the grot bombers and you want to use grot bombs, you need to order the extra 2 bombs. It just helps deal with the randomness that happens when you're using grot bombs. The fighter bomber really didn't do anything this game and didn't really have a chance. I may have been better off just going for more ground defenses, especially if I could have bought a couple of the light flak battery with its amazing 8 shots at short range. While ground defenses only have 2 structure points each, it would have been much more firepower between the 2 of them than the fighter bomber could have gone, and it would have actually given them an extra structure point, or even more if I could have gotten more ground defenses. Overall, the Orcs are suffering not because they're bad, but because I'm not playing them right. I'm playing them like they're self-sacrificing individuals going after the bombers to save defenses instead of just going for kills on fighters and going fast. I really should have ignored the bombers until I've dealt with some, if not all, of the enemy fighters. For the Imperials, well, the Imperials did pretty much what I expected them to. Fighters stayed at and shot at medium range whenever possible, even when there were closer targets. The Thunderbolts and the Fury are excellent fighters for their cost, even after getting a point increase. Marauder destroyers are my favorite bomber type for the Imperials by far. They have a smaller bombing profile, but with that many fire-forwarding cannons and the rear turret acting as an assault cannon, they're just as dangerous to the enemy aircraft and ground targets. They very seldom need to use their bombs. I did notice that during the game I completely forgot to use the ace rerolls. In the long run, it may have shortened the game, but we only played 3 turns, 4 if you count the disengagement turn. I really didn't need to use rerolls. At no time did I feel threatened enough to need to use it. So that's it for Mission 4. We only have 2 more missions in this campaign before we're done. I hope you've enjoyed what I've done so far, and I hope you've learned from my mistakes and noticed what I've done right. If you all have any suggestions as to what I could do better, please let me know. And thank you very much for listening. You all take care of yourselves out there.